Okay guys, how are you? Episode 63. Let's get the ball rolling. So, the last time we met, we obviously lost 2-1 to Rostov and then beat Man City 2-1. And I kind of specify that because 2-1 is kind of turning into a bit of a bogey result for us. We've lost 4 times so far this season, and each single time it's been 2-1. We beat Oxford in the FL Cup 4th round on penalties. We did play somewhat of a weakened side, but I wasn't really happy with the performance. We then just about managed to win away at Newcastle. Andre Gray in the 81st minute, and again, some of these dodgy results are just an example of why you need to have such strong squad depth when you're competing, not just in Europe, but in the Champions League as well. Because the Champions League just really requires that extra amount of intensity. We then wanted to get revenge at home against Rostov, given what they did to us away from home, which we most certainly did. Carlos Alenia, who's coming back into form after returning from his injury. Can't really say the same about Marco Piaca. Bai Yang got the first goal in the 17th minute. We then smashed West Ham 4-0, which was really satisfying because West Ham, over the past few years, have kind of been one of them hard-to-beat bogey teams for us, with Gary Monk in charge. And then the international break went, and another game came, and we lost 2-1 to Watford. Now, Watford are always, once again, one of them teams that are tough to play against in the Premier League, especially given they've still got Mazzari as their manager, unlike real life. And one thing that we've always suffered from against Watford is conceding late goals. We had the only clear-cut chance of the game, but it just wasn't meant to be. And Troy Deeney did what Troy Deeney does, and unfortunately, we lost what should have really been a must-win game against Watford. Fortunately for us, though, it's the first match which we lose in the Premier League so far this season, which does mean we still are top of the league. Whether it will be like that come the end of the season, I highly doubt it, but we'll have to wait and see. But what's really impressive is the fact that if we sort the league based on goals conceded, one of the main reasons why that's our first loss is because we've only conceded 5 goals so far this season in the Premier League, which is awesome in comparison to teams like Arsenal and Man United, who've conceded more than double the amount of goals we have so far this season. Now, obviously, one bad result against a Man United or someone like that, where you lose 4-5-0, could end up changing that. But considering defence was kind of one of our issues last season, it's nice to see how solid we've been at the back. But I still would like to be scoring a few more goals. It's not really great that Everton are outscoring us. But without further ado, so this is going to be a single match episode. We're going to be facing Roma in the Champions League. We beat them, of course, quite convincingly, 4-1. First time around at Ewood Park. Our away form hasn't exactly been phenomenal so far this season. All these 2-1 losses that we mentioned have all been away from home. But I still think and feel like we can get at least a draw against Roma. A win would be awesome because it would leave us hot on Real Madrid's tail, going into the final group game of the season at home at Ewood Park against Real Madrid. And if we do beat Roma, if Real Madrid do slip up and draw or lose, for example, against Rostov, which is highly unlikely, we could end up in an interesting scenario where whoever ends up winning this game ends up finishing top of the group. So we'll have to wait and see. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the Roma match. Also, something interesting has just happened. So I've been scouting for Wonder Kids, as I always do, and I've come across this 19-year-old Serbian signed from Crvena Zvezda in Serbia for 3.3 million to Las Palmas, and as you guys can see, for a 19-year-old, he's one hell of a player. 15 acceleration, 14 pace, 15 stamina, good work rate, good positioning, 13 marking, 14 tackling, 12 crossing. So could be better, but depending how much you end up paying for his wages, could end up being quite a good squad signing in a few years' time. We bid 7.5 million for him. It got rejected. And then, for the first time ever in this save, I asked my board to try and sign him, and they've actually agreed that they think he'll be a really good signing for the club. So, yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know. What do you think of this player? Let me know. Okay, so starting lineups. Roma have gone with a 4-2-3-1. El Shaarawy on the left, and Juan, ex-Arsenal, playing up front on his own, with Mohamed Salah on the right-hand side, and Gigi Wijnaldum once again playing just off that lone striker. Nainggolan and Paredes holding things up in midfield. The back four pretty much the same as the last time we faced them, with Alisson, who is a bloke with a woman's name, as we kind of figured out last time when we beat these guys 4-1. As far as we're concerned, no real surprises. It's going to be Dumic alongside Callas because Danny Bath has been horrendous recently. Douglas will play just in front of the back four. Rog's been scoring a lot of goals from midfield, so he starts there with Alenya to his left, who's also been contributing well. Fullbacks rather than IFBs, Piaka, Nano and Nyang lead the front line, and it was a tough decision whether to go for Andre or Nano, but Nano's been scoring quite a lot of goals recently, so he starts. And yeah, standard mentality. Let's see what we can do. Here we go then. We kick off, and as always, go for our traditional demand more shout. I've been playing FM for so long and I still have no idea whether the shouts do genuinely make a difference. But that's a nice pass from Piaka. Oh, we played it to Alenya. Commentator says it was a real chance, and it certainly was. First clear-cut chance of the game, and you've really got to take opportunities like that, specifically in the Champions League. That's a poor throw-in. Can Fabio win the ball back? He can. Him and Rog link up really, really well there. Dumic finds Piaka, who plays it to the spearhead of our attack in Nano, but Manolas gets a good tackle in, but we win the ball back again. A lot of hunger coming out from the lads, but now Rog, the man who won the ball back earlier, loses it. Wijnaldum to El Shaarawy, who shoots and scores. 1-0 to Roma. Really disappointing goal to concede that. Good counter-attack from Roma, but it was really, really scruffy. You know, we had the ball in their final third, and yeah, I can't really believe how we lost that ball. It looked like we were going to be the ones mounting the attack, and instead this has happened. So that's not really ideal. But we have been creating chances, so we'll stick at it until the second half. So in terms of tactical changes, we've basically just turned off retained possession and gone for an attacking mentality. Got to start throwing men forward. I wonder what the group currently looks like right now. Let's open it up. League table. Oh god, that's not good. Particularly with Real Madrid being our next game. Nyang! Yes! What a corner from Alenya. And well, the lads wasting absolutely no time whatsoever there, making it even once again. Really good cross from Alenya. We don't normally score from corners, so that's definitely a breath of fresh air, but at this current moment in time, I'd take it. And to be fair, you look at the match stats, I don't necessarily think Roma have been better than us. We've not exactly been phenomenal either. Just before I do a cheeky team talk, let's take a quick look at what was going to happen there. The answer is, well, we couldn't win the ball in the air. So, Roma now, what are they going to do? Manolas, who's been so far pretty good at the back, to be fair. It was his tackle that kind of stemmed Roma's counter-attack for their goal. But talking about counter-attacking, it's now us, as that's a poor ball from Rog. And once again, we're giving this ball away a little bit too easily, but we should be able to pick it back up. Piaka finds Douglas, who finds Alenya. A lot of creativity in midfield. Rog looks to make up for his error, and he does. The ex-Serie A man, the ex-AC Milan man in Nyang makes it 2-1. Alisson stood no chance in goal. The injured Alisson now for some reason. But really nice ball there from Rog. Definitely made up for his mistake earlier in the highlight. And then what a finish that was from Nyang. Really satisfying that as well, especially considering last season we had some issues with Nyang's finishing, but he certainly stepped things up this season finishing-wise. Bruno Perez, who's the more adventurous of the two Roma wing-backs. Played the ball to Kunz, but his size really letting him down there. Kind of want to win this game. Come on, lads, win that ball back. Nainggolan is coming forward. And who is that misses tackle? But Douglas intercepts really, really well. And let's make sure that we don't get tackled, which is exactly what's happened. And now, with our fullbacks running forward, the counter-attack is on for AS Roma. And it's El Shaarawy once again. It's these misplaced passes today. It's these misplaced passes. Oh. And how's the group looking now? Okay, so a draw wouldn't be the end of the world for us, but it would leave us probably needing a draw against Real Madrid, whilst Roma would probably beat Rostov. And yeah, that loss to Rostov could end up biting us in the bum, basically. 1-0 down, brought it back to 2-1 up and conceded a silly goal like that. And this is how Roma have been playing all day. Luan should have finished there, and really we should have lost this game based off of that. Yeah, poor. And I think that header from Fabio says it all for our passing so far this game. I think we shot ourselves in the foot, really, giving the ball away and kind of opening the door for Roma to counter-attack us. But at the same time, could we have done more after going 2-1 up? Maybe could have told our fullbacks to be a little bit less adventurous, even though they are on standard. They're on automatic, sorry, and we were on a standard mentality, but these things happen. This does now, with Real Madrid just about beating Rostov 1-0, leave us in a bit of a fishy situation going into the final Champions League game of the season. You know, any other day, a 2-2 draw against Roma wouldn't actually be that bad because they were one of the better sides in Serie A last season, and in fact, they could even win it this season. So, disappointing. The issue for us now is that we kind of have to get something against Real Madrid because the chances are, looking at the group, that Roma will beat Rostov. We can't assume that Roma won't beat Rostov at this point. Rostov beat us, and we've only got ourselves to blame. If we do get a point against Real Madrid and Roma beat Rostov, it leaves us both on 8 points, and our goal difference is significantly better than Roma's, thanks to the fact that we smashed them 4-1 at home early on in the season. If we lose to Real Madrid, which is also quite likely with Cristiano Ronaldo coming back from injury, then if Roma beat Rostov, they obviously leapfrog us, and we drop down to the Europa League, I believe. So, retain our Europa League title, anyone? But until next time, it's going to be a big game coming up next. It's the East Lancashire derby. I don't think I've ever played Burnley in an East Lancashire derby on this series, so it's going to be an interesting game. But until next time, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and once again, thanks for watching.